going to talk about, show you a takedown rifle, basically, that I've completed. This rifle happens to be a 2-barrel set. Calibers are .338 Winchester and .416 Ruger. Now, for some real serious work, I think this is quite a good combination. I don't think that there's anything in the world, as far as hunting goes, that you couldn't cover with both of those hard-hitting calibers. Now, I've made the stock. This is a laminated stock. It's called rosewood laminate. It's really quite pretty. It really looks nice with blued metal and so forth. And this rifle is a left-hand rifle, left-hand shooter. This is a Ruger 77 Mark II action that I barreled. Both of these rifles, both these barrels have muzzle brakes and sights. One of the real advantages to this Ruger situation is it's got double square bridge action that accepts the Ruger rings. Now, this is a very simple system. It's very strong. It's very repeatable. You want to remove your scope, use your sights, put your scope back on. I always recommend 2 scopes if you've got 2 barrels, so you've always got the scope sighted in. Might be a good idea to use a different particular scope on for one caliber and the other, so you don't get them mixed up. That way your scopes are always zeroed. Now, these Ruger actions, I like the Ruger action because I think it has some advantages. It's the double square bridge, except the Ruger rings. It's got a good safety. The safety, works in half position. You can put your safety on half position, eject around, you see, or have it on full safe, and so forth. I think this is a plus. It's got a good strong claw extractor, unlike some action designs that don't have very good extractor, such as the Remington 700. It's too bad they still never caught on, and build a rifle with a much better extractor. Everybody that makes a copy of Remingtons is putting either a Seiko or an M16 extractor in the bolts. Far more reliable than the little dinky Remington extractor. Some of them would never fail for a lifetime, but some of them almost fail just right off the bat. So this is a pretty good advantage using an action like this. In fact, I might tell you that people that hunt and guide in Alaska, they like the Ruger 77's, the all stainless gun in various calibers, because it's pretty forgiving in poor weather, rainy country in Alaska. If you're going to hunt Alaska, you better expect rain, because it could rain every day on you, and you need a gun that will be reliable. And these folks over years have figured out that there's an advantage to having these Ruger rifles, just an off-the-shelf type of a gun, see. But of course, this is a full custom gun. It's got two barrels, as I said, in the 2 different calibers. And I've been through this before. You simply use an Allen wrench to remove the lock screw here on the side of the action. You have to fully remove it. I suggest put it in your pocket. along with the little wrench that you use. Change the barrels is just a matter of putting one barrel in or taking a barrel out. Only takes just a few moments to change to a completely different situation, change from scoped to unscoped, and so forth. It's very, very handy. The barrels are precisely shouldered up to the action, and you don't want to turn the barrel the wrong direction. The barrel's tighten right up on the shoulder, and this lock screw keeps it from turning. And anyway, I came up with these takedown rifles many, many years ago, and I built quite a lot of takedown rifles. So this one particular one, I just wanted to happen to show, this particular one with this particular stock. This is a rifle you can carry all day. This, as you look at it right here, it weighs 8 pounds. So it's real obvious, just an 8-pound rifle in 416 Ruger or 338, you see, is going to be pretty hard in the kick department. That's why we have muzzle brake, you see. And the muzzle brake happens to be, machined right in the barrel. It isn't an either or, you see. And people don't understand the muzzle brake situation very well. You have to re-zero your rifle every time you take the brake off and put it back on, and vice versa. Well, rifles never got to be re-zeroed because nothing changes. Brake is machined right in the barrel. And the way that these things are all fitted together precisionally takes a lot of time to build these particular things, a lot of handwork. This isn't a production type of a thing. And very repeatable. Works every time. And, most of my takedowns, of course, are full customs. And one thing that you've got to understand, that when you have a couple of barrels, you've got to use the same case head size. You can't mix a 30-06 case with a 300 Winchester case head size because it doesn't fit the bolt. And I repeatedly get questions, well, I like a 270 and a 300 Weatherby. Well, it's not going to work because it's a different case. It's plain and simple. Action designed to accommodate the Magnum round. It's not designed to accommodate the 270 Winchester type round from a feed standpoint, the way that it fits in the magazine, the feed rails and everything. So anyway, these are not inexpensive situations. It's all about time. It takes a lot of time to build these things, a lot of fine tuning and handiwork, fitting and refitting, and one thing another. So, if you're looking for something in the bargain area, go to Walmart and buy a Ruger American. That's a bargain gun. I feel that it's a very smart thing. People that are traveling to other parts of the world to have 2-barrel situation, and I might mention, I think a very good situation is a 338 Winchester and maybe a 7 Remington Magnum or a 270 Weatherby on the lower side, you see. This happens to be, a rifle for virtually everything. And the 2 barrels, 2 different calibers. So these are very handy when they're basically taken down. And by the way, it's called a takedown. It's not a breakdown. A shotgun breaks down. Double barrel shotguns, over and under shotguns, they break down. This is not a breakdown, it is a takedown. Understand what the difference is? You have to unscrew the barrel, and you screw the barrel in. That's why it's called a takedown. Take it apart. So anyway, I won't go through the aspect of unthreading the barrel and threading the barrel in again. Should be very obvious, you know. That's what you have to do. So that's the situation. And I'm going to mention while I'm talking about custom rifle and so forth, all this custom work, it amounts to many hours. It amounts to time. It amounts to dollars. You can't expect to get $275 finished stock in a laminate, wanting a full custom stock that's checkered and everything else, you know. It should be very obvious. It's all handwork. You have to make all these things by hand. And this is basically machine blank. It has to be all fitted precisely and everything else. There's a lot of detail that goes into basically fitting everything through here so that everything goes together and has the proper clearance and one thing and another. Be able to turn the barrel in and out. So, you know, this is a custom shop. Always has been a custom shop. Always will be a custom shop. No shortcuts. No shortcuts to any of it. It's all handwork. So, anyway, that's what I have to say about, you know, latest thing to do with my takedown rifles.